welcome back to Evolution Greenworks. I have some fantastic guests for episode 17. I'm really excited to talk to both Danny Mueller, who is the VP of Sales and Marketing over at Franken Solar America, and I have Avani. Welcome. How are you guys doing today?
We are doing
Excellent, excellent. So you guys got some exciting stuff going on down at Franken Solar, and we were just discussing that prior to going live here. So, Danny, would you let us know what your direction is for Franken Solar this season?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on these days. The solar industry is booming, as many people in the industry know. So at Franken Solar, we got a bunch of new things. First of all, we had Avani start. What was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she's the first key account manager for Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So we now have someone there as well, or looking after that territory. And then we launched a online store not too long ago, where solar installers can go on and buy their solar equipment right out of the store, as opposed to asking for a quote every time. Makes it a little bit easier.
Oh, so you're streamlining that whole process. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So is Avani the first Saskatchewan, Manitoba dedicated sales manager?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, excellent. So basically, Avani, when they come and they contact you from Saskatchewan and Manitoba, they get to talk to you, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
And first point of contact.
Excellent. So how are you finding it so far? Since you're new to this, let's see what you think.
Well, for me, I am fairly new to the Franken Solar Americas and the solar industry in itself, but being a part of renewables and energy is pretty exciting. I want to contribute to a better world, and I think by this way, this would be the best way out, right? So yeah, it's really exciting, and I am liking it.
Excellent, excellent. So Danny, you guys are beefing up this portal then that people can just go in and do this without any quotes. Like, this is amazing. Does it help them walk through what they need, or?
Yeah, it's a really cool platform because it has all our products that we carry on there, including all the data sheets, all the warranty documents. Anything you need is right on there. Even if something's not available anymore, but we have carried it in the past, we will have it still on there. You just won't be able to buy it anymore.
You know, you see that sometimes, like there's a product that's no longer available. And then how do you get the warranty card on it or the information? It's very difficult sometimes.
It can be, yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's so much stuff out there on the internet. And this way we have a platform where it's all easily accessible, and there's a bunch of information about each product on there, and yeah, so it literally takes like 30 seconds to sign up, and then I will get an email, and if you're registered with us already for an account for and your solar business, then we will change your pricing, and your partner pricing will pop up right away. So we'll make it really, really streamlined and easy for people to buy equipment.
So that's all on the, like, it's just right there for them. That's really streamlining the process, both for your company and also for the installer. That's amazing.
Absolutely. And we can still do the old fashioned way if that's the way that any given company would like to do business with, receiving a quote on Franken Solar letterhead and then signing it, or they can send in a purchase order the old fashioned way as well. That all works. We're totally open to any way that makes things easier for the solar installers out there.
So Danny, are you guys getting into grid tie with storage at all? Like, do you see an uptick in that this year?
Oh, absolutely. There's lots of stuff happening there. We partnered with a couple of new battery manufacturers recently. We're carrying a company called Pylon Tech, which has a really good lithium-ion solution available, and yeah, that would be the one product that is quite popular right now. Of course, lead times are a little bit of an issue these days. with anything, right?
Yes, absolutely. Lead times are definitely, I find on the battery products specifically this year and last year. Last year, it really hit home. And I think there was a lot of people just getting really nervous about not having any way to power themselves if the grids go down. And we're seeing increased failure rates across Canada with aged infrastructure issues, right?
Yeah. So the pylon tech is the one solution that we promote, and then the other one is Simplify, which we also have access to. They're both really good solutions, and there's a lot of stuff happening in the storage world, which is not usually the the stuff I'm really good at. We have Alexander Wolf here, who I don't know if you've ever dealt with
Yes,
him, Lorena.
actually, is Alexander still with you guys? I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
talked to him in
absolutely.
about 3 years, maybe.
No,
It's
no,
been a
Alex is
little
here.
while.
Yeah, the
Excellent.
people that know Alex love him.
Yep,
He's such a good person to have around, and anything grid tied or off grid, he's a huge asset to
absolutely.
us and also to our partners.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I did. I remember having some great conversations with him about 3 years ago. So, so when we're talking about storage, so people are asking about it. I know even from us over at Evolve Green, we're hearing more and more people want the battery backup. Now, if do you recommend that at this point? Are the prices coming down comparably now, or?
Yeah, definitely the prices have come down, just like with solar panels, everything is going down overall. The lithium ion price is down every year overall, goes down, right? Is there a financial incentive to do storage? No, there's not. It's something you do for ease of mind, sleeping better at night if the power goes out for whatever reason. So that's why you would do it, right? You don't do it because of a financial payback.
And I don't think it's even just that. There's a lot of Canadians with medical needs too, where they need oxygen, especially with COVID. They're staying home with oxygen machines, or they have CPAPs for their sleep apnea. And these things, they can't sleep without it, you know? So, like, if the power goes out during the night, having the battery backup is just amazing because then they can continue to sleep. It becomes a part of their essential load. Now, do you help installers that are now willing to consider storage? So does Alexander walk them through, or?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we work really close with all our partners, and offer whatever help they need to design systems. I mean, that's on the grid tied side, but also in the off grid. One of the things that really I think makes us different is we really try to optimize and help our partners to optimize the systems that they design. I think there's a lot of cost savings there for that, or in that. Everyone's always worried about, can I get solar panels for a cent per watt less or something like that, right? But the
Yeah,
real cost savings are in designing the systems properly with the right equipment, with the right oversizing, and that's how you can save a lot of money. And for us, it's not always about just making the most out of every sale. It's about helping our partners become the best versions of themselves, and our opinion
absolutely.
is then we will be successful in an extension,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And I know I'm always been an opponent of everybody needs to come up together. The whole industry needs to come up together. And I think we're not brand new kids anymore. I mean, solar industry, I think it's here to stay. Number one, storage is also coming, and that's just like a freight train. It's going to be in every home in 5 years.
Yeah.
But what's different is I think now is that we're starting to mature as an industry. I think we don't have as many people out there, they're mavericks on their own, just doing whatever. People want to know that they've got something solid behind them when it comes to their solar company that they're dealing with, that they've got backup, that they're legit, that they've been here for a while. They want to see other systems they've done. They're looking at feedback and all of those things because I think they identify with, they want somebody that's got something behind them. So for new installers, I think they're new to the industry, whether it be an electrician who's expanding into solar installation or what have you.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea that you have so much backup for these guys that they can learn from the best, and Alexander's perfect. So
Yeah,
I think,
Alex is pretty awesome.
yeah, absolutely. So getting into that experience right away versus having to fumble their way through figuring out their first systems, right? Because it's like a big tinker toy.
Yeah. And there's so many different products out there, right? And what may be
Absolutely.
the right product for one company is not the right product for another company. It
Yeah.
really depends on how you do business. If you're a big developer and you want to focus at building a lot of residential solar projects in a major city, Toronto, Calgary, whatever be it, then maybe going with something that has optimizers a better solution for you versus if you want to build solar projects on for farmers, for example, and they have big roofs, and even if they're just 10 kilowatts, probably you don't need an optimizer. You can get away with just using a
Yeah.
normal string inverter, right? So lots
Absolutely.
of things to
Well, and
consider.
I think, trees, it's all about location, and knowing what product is the right fit, and why. Because I think the customers are now coming with some really intelligent questions. We are seeing, it used to be just they didn't know anything, but now they're actually asking, the right questions. They're talking about, do we go with storage and not go with storage? Where should it go? Where should it be located? They're understanding that they need to have the right kind of set of circumstances, which is pretty interesting stuff. Do you get customers coming directly to you, just wanting to install their own? And what advice do you give them?
Yeah, I do get the odd, person that wants to install their own system, and I guess some people, they're capable of doing that, especially if they have an electrical background, right? But
Right, if you're an
generally,
electrician.
yeah, but generally, my recommendation is always go through a company that does this kind of thing, right? That
Yep.
they can advise you, and it may look like a lot of money, but it is usually still the best design, and there's a it doesn't really make sense to build it yourself, because you're at the end you're going to pay more, or at least as much, and you still have to do all the work yourself.
Agreed. Well, also when you get a company, you're, going to get their insurance behind them. So if something happens with a solar system, usually you get a warranty on the labor side of things. So like, I'm just going to use 5 years as an example. If you have a 5-year labor warranty and now you've got some feet that, maybe didn't quite make it to where they should or something like that. And what if you blow a leak, right? Your own home insurance can cover some of this stuff, but they're going to start asking you some hard questions if you installed your own without having the expertise too. So
the leak's a big thing, right? Especially if you're in a residential setting.
application, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And you have a shingled roof or even a metal roof. It's
Yes.
you're drilling holes in there, so you got to have someone that knows what they're doing. And there's some really good products out there, but at the end of the day, it still needs to be installed properly.
I think my favorite is the 5S connector for the standing seam metal roof.
Yeah.
I love not having to penetrate.
Yeah.
I mean, I get so excited when a customer comes to me with standing seam. I don't know about you, but
No,
to me, it's
great.
nice. To me, that's that you can do anything with standing seam, like with those 5S connectors. And that's not just solar. You're putting any other kind of cabling on your roof, you can use those connectors to connect any of that kind of stuff. It just looks so nice and clean coming down the back.
There's a variety of different manufacturers now that
Correct.
make those type of connections. And there's so many different types, because there's a lot of different metal roofs, right? And generally one clamp doesn't fit all applications, but
No.
there's a lot of different options there for different types of standing seam roofs.
I just love not having to penetrate. I think that is always the best way. But if not, I mean, flashing kits, and of course there's Solar Claw or various types where you can just screw into the sheeting and not go into the
Rooftech
truss.
is a great product as well, especially yeah, roof tech's quite popular. I know it's not just us selling that product. There's a couple of other distributors as well. It's very popular, and it's a Japanese product. It's been around for a really long time, very well tested. So it's
Very nice.
probably 90% of what we're selling these days.
Wow. Okay, that's great. And is it a single unit or is it two pieces?
It is, well, it's a single unit, and then you connect an L foot to the top of it
Gotcha.
in order to mount your rail. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's
Nice.
it's quite popular.
What type of string inverters are you carrying these days?
Well, there's lots. But the ones we're selling most of on the string inverter side would be Fronius and SMA would be the two main ones on the residential side. And on the commercial, it's Huawei, SMA, Fronius, Sungrow. I think I don't want to forget anyone, but I think those would be the four
Well,
major
just try,
ones.
yeah, the major ones is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, now, why would you use a string inverter versus an optimizer or a microinverter?
So that's actually one of our. I'm glad you're asking. It's one of our favorite things to talk about here at Franken Solar. What we always try to do is we try to make Alex calls it make things stupid simple. The fewer parts you have, the fewer things can fail. So if you have a big commercial roof, for example, um, as far as we're concerned, using optimizers on that roof is overkill. You just have something up there that is going to fail, and it's not a matter of when if, but it's a matter of when it will fail, right? So
Absolutely.
optimizers have an annual failure rate of, let's call it 1%. So if you have 100 optimizers on a roof, once a year you're going to have to replace one, right? On average. Some years it's going to be two, maybe 1 year it's not going to be none at all, but on average you're going to replace one a year.
Would you believe that for Evolve Green, the failure rate on optimizers was actually 11%?
Well, there you go. There you go.
That's
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Um,
pretty significant.
yeah, it can be, right? Like it's
Yes.
definitely it is what it is. It's power electronic in a very harsh environment underneath solar panels, and same goes
Mhm.
for microinverters, right? This is actually microinverters may even be tougher because they have more technology in a small casing with very little.
I agree. Our failure rate on microinverters is not nearly what it is for optimizers.
Okay.
For sure. I can attest to that. But one of the things too with optimizers and with microinverters, do you agree though the customer is seeing absolutely everything all the time, so they know when there's been a failure of something?
Yeah, which can be
Quicker.
good, which can be good or bad.
Good for the customer, bad for the
Yeah,
installer.
it also, but what you have to keep in mind too is it also raises a lot of alarm bells where they don't need to be raised. Let's say you're going to have some shading on a roof. A lot of times people are driving themselves nuts over that, right? On a specific panel having some shading, or some
Yes.
or some snow being on a panel or something like that, dirt that will get washed away, and you're as an installer are going to get phone calls, right? So
Yes,
the
absolutely.
good and the bad, right? The good and the bad. But if you will see if there's a panel that is faulty, you will find out about it.
But
What we would say though is that overall, if you look at failure rates of power electronics versus failures of solar panels, you're looking at, when we're talking failure rates on solar panels, we're talking parts per million. When we're talking failure rates on optimizers or microinverters, we're talking in a percentage, right? You know,
mhm.
it's much different.
Oh, absolutely. But I find with the string inverters, there is actually less to go wrong. But I'm not so crazy about all of the, um, you know, where they're doing the automatic stop. Like it's some of the electronics involved here can fail. This is what I'm finding. So the rapid shutdowns that they're employing aftermarket for some of the older product is failing. Um, to me it's moot. I mean, you hit the DC disconnect and you're done anyways. So to me, I don't even know
Yeah,
who
that's the
came
North
up with this
American thing.
crazy idea. I
That's
know.
well, actually, what really happened is that there's certain companies that have optimizers or microinverters, and they're lobbying for this kind of thing because this way they're getting a competitive advantage over companies that do string inverters. Because now with string inverter, you also need a rapid shutdown device, which adds another $500 to your system cost, right? So
Absolutely.
it for them it levels the playing field. If you go to Europe, nobody uses optimizers in Europe.
Yeah, but nobody also uses rapid shutdown in Europe.
No, exactly same thing.
Because it doesn't make sense. They call it safety, and means I tell you, I've had inspectors come after me and they say, "Oh, rapid shutdown this and CEC code," and I don't care what it is, because you know what? You haven't shut down the solar panel.
Yeah.
You haven't, and you can't tell me during a fire that solar panel is going to be producing anything that would even be anywhere near hurting somebody.
Well, if there's a fire, there's probably a lot of smoke.
Well, that's what I'm.
Sunlight, yeah.
That's what I mean. I've never ever heard of a scenario where somebody has been injured with this. I have heard of scenarios where there's been fires on roofs with string inverters that have been compromised up top with the stringing. But here's the thing: that still doesn't matter. It's still going to happen with a rapid shutdown. You haven't addressed the problem, and if you put in an opti, sure, it'll shut down if there's any kind of and so will a micro. So that part is definitely true. But the way rapid shutdown works, it doesn't do what it is that they thought it would do anyways. And then they're saying, well, within 2 meters, within 9 feet, within, I mean, are you crazy? I don't care where you put it. It's not doing what you think it's doing.
It's just an additional cost, an additional point of failure.
I agree with you 100% on that. I like safe systems. I agree with the critter guard. I agree with protecting your cabling systems and all of that good stuff, making sure it's approved and installed correctly. All of those things are going to vote to the long life of your solar system. However, having said that, there's a couple of things in the CEC that I definitely don't agree with, and that would be one of them. Yep. I've yet to hear a valid argument that tells me that this creates a safer system than having a square D DC disconnect and just shut it down. Or even, hello, why do we even need that? Why aren't we just using the DC disconnect on those inverters? Because they are certified.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
They just create thousands of dollars of extra costs in installing solar in Canada.
Yeah, if you look at the cost of installing solar in Canada versus in Europe, a large portion of the higher cost here is because of some of these soft costs, or even like in this case a hard cost. But it's not really necessary as far as I'm concerned. Then again, I'm not writing the code. I'm not a electrical engineer, so.
Well, yeah, to me, I think it all should be challenged. To be fair, I think there's a lot of circumstances where it should be made more uniform across Canada, number one. But I know the CEC is intended to do that. However, there's so many gray areas that it isn't, right? We see that province to province all the time. Having said that, now I just wish the understanding level was better for the people writing the CEC code, because I feel almost as though they're missing pieces of what it is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's where I get to with that whole rapid shutdown thing, because there's better ways to ensure safety, but then you have to bear in mind what's going on at the moment. And if you turn off the grid side, you're always going to have the whole system go down anyway, unless it's a battery system.
Correct. Yeah, no, again, going back to my overall opinion about fewer parts, the fewer parts we can have on a solar system, the better. It is for longevity, failure rates, et cetera, right?
And it's also cheaper too, right?
Yeah, of course. And solar has come a long way since I started back in 2013, in the solar industry, when solar panels cost $2 a watt, and racking cost, I don't know what it was, 30 cents a watt, and inverters were 30 cents a watt. Like it was a different time, right?
Yes.
And we continuously try to find ways to optimize, and that's kind of what's exciting about this industry, right? It's
right.
continuously evolving, and we used to have 225 watt panels. Now we use 450 watt panels, going up to in over 500 watts next year, probably, with some of these larger panels that are going out. So it's lots of stuff happening in this industry.
Absolutely. And I think it's what I love about working in this industry, anyways, and talking to people about it, is it's ever changing and coming out and addressing new challenges with renewable energy, and not just solar, but battery storage and wind and all of it, right? So I'm always interested to see how they're tackling those different issues and addressing it with the equipment that's coming out. And it's some phenomenal stuff out there, right? So I'm just welcoming Avani back into here.
Hey, Avani.
Avani, I just wanted to ask you a few questions about the Manitoba and Saskatchewan market. Do you see this as being a really good market for you this year?
You're muted.
Yep, she is. That's okay. I can unmute her. There we go.
Sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely. So for Saskatchewan, it has more solar energy than any other state Canada-wide. Besides, Manitoba is pretty exciting too. These two provinces, I mean, for me, since like I am fairly new to the industry, it's a great opportunity. Firstly, for the most exciting thing about Saskatchewan and Manitoba is that most people that I talk to are not net new to the organization. They already know as to what's going on. And besides, it's great interacting with people to see the challenges they are going through amid COVID, especially because this is the time when I started at Franken Solar. And yeah, I am really enjoying this journey.
Excellent. I'm going to break for a sponsor word, and then we're going to come back with Franken Solar. We've got Danny Mueller and Avani Macwan, and they're going to be telling us what's going on this season special for them, and we'll talk when they're back.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance, quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running.
Welcome back, Evolutionaries. Episode 17. We're having an exciting conversation with Franken Solar America. We're talking to both Avani Macwan and VP of Sales and Marketing, Danny Mueller. Hi, guys. So when we left off, we were going to talk about this season and what's happening for you guys. You've already talked about this wonderful new installer portal for ordering, how you've made this so much easier for them coming in, and what somebody wanting to get into this. Can you walk me through the process
of getting into solar and installing solar?
And not just installing solar, but how do they get on with you, communicate, and what would be the process?
So there's a number of ways you can contact us. So the best way probably would be to give us a call. At the phone number is here at the bottom at 289-276-5279. And we'll put you in contact with a key account person. If it's in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, it'll be Avani.
Avani.
Yeah. And but we've got key account managers across the country, right? Then you can go on our the other option will be going to our web store and signing up there under shop.frankensolar.ca. And you can sign up there. It takes like 30 seconds, and then we'll contact you as well. Or you can just send us an email to sales@frankensolar.ca, and we'll put you in contact with the right people and get you hooked up with our price list and everything else that that you'll need. Documentation that we need from you as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, one of the things that we do that is quite interesting is if you look at some of the other distributors that are out there, they have if either they don't have a price list at all or they have multiple price lists and you never know what you're getting. We try to play really with open cards, and everyone, all our partners, all the solar installers across Canada are getting the same pricing from us. Um,
Wonderful.
yeah, which makes it easy. Now there are some, caveats to that, of course. So
Well, for
there's
bulk orders, right? You
like
can.
where we will make special pricing is if the module order is over 100 kilowatts, we'll do special pricing. And any customer that has done over $100,000 with us over the last 12 months, they will get the 2% additional on all their orders.
Oh,
2%
great.
off.
So
Yeah.
frequent flyers get better pricing.
A
Excellent.
little bit, yeah. But
I like the
it's
open
only 2%.
concept of that though, because you don't know otherwise. It's
Correct.
like that's a very hidden thing. So it's nice
Yeah,
that everybody just gets this. If you do this, you get this extra. And I think that's really important because it gives them an incentive too, right? To buy
Correct.
from you.
Correct. The other thing we do that's really cool, and we're the first ones to do this, is any order over $5,000, we will do free shipping across the country.
Nice.
There are a few exceptions. That's within within
Well,
reason. Of course, if it's in northern Saskatchewan, we cannot ship all the way up to the north part of the province. We have very large
Gotcha.
provinces. But if it's within a couple of hours of a city, decent sized city, then we'll ship it free of charge to you.
And it really is so different across the provinces themselves, even. Like, for instance, I was talking to Swan River, Manitoba yesterday, and they were snowing.
Yeah.
Snowing, and we were plus 30. Like,
It's
even the environment is so different across one province, and they're so big, right?
Well, Canada is such a large country. Coming from Switzerland, like me, small country, you can drive across in 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours?
Yeah, it's very small.
Wow.
But then moving to Canada, and Lake Ontario is the size of Switzerland, so it's quite a culture shock. But yeah, I mean, we literally do business in every province now and territory. We've got customers in Yukon, we've got customers in
Nice.
BC, Nova Scotia, and everywhere in between. So literally coast to coast to coast.
And you guys have been around for a long time. Do you want to talk about that? Like, talk about the beginnings of Franken Solar and where you're at today.
Yeah, so Franken Solar was established in 1990 and 1991, somewhere around that, in Nuremberg, Germany, in the Franken region of Germany, hence the name Franken Solar.
Franken Solar. Oh, interesting.
So yeah, Nuremberg is where we're from originally. In 2011, we moved to North America. At the time, well, we were in Mississauga, Ontario. The reason for that was quite simple. It was the boom of the solar industry in Ontario with the feed-in tariff program at the time, and it made a lot of sense to move here. And we were down there until 2015, 2016, until we outgrew that place, and now we're moved up, up the road a little bit north to Brampton, and we're quite strategically positioned here because it's a major hub for transportation.
Right.
With the airport, Pearson Airport is 5-10 minutes from here. So it allows us to do shipping quite quickly anywhere within the country.
Perfect. So, I mean, yeah, it made a lot of sense, I guess, coming into Canada. And of course, you got some of the same technology too. You got the SMA product, the Fronius product, which, let's just say, this has been on the market. I can't give you the exact number of years, but I've been dealing with SMA and Franken and Fronius for a very long time. And actually Franken Solar America, I've known you guys right from the time you guys came in too.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty cool. We've both been around for quite some time here in Canada.
There have been some companies that have been around for a very long time in this country. Even before solar was really lucrative like it is now, right? It makes a lot of sense to have a solar company now. But back in, when did you start, Lorena?
Oh, 13 years ago. It was 2007.
Yeah. So, and I mean, solar in the prairies at that time, it was not that easy.
There was 3 of us.
Yeah.
3 or 4 of us. I mean, like tops. And that would be counting small ones too, right? So, but for brick and mortar, I think there was only 2.
Yeah. There you go. Like, we've been around for a long time and still around. We've seen many companies come and go in this industry, right? There are a lot of fly-by-nighters, and I think it's really important, even for for solar install for someone that wants a solar project to partner with someone that has been around for a while, because
and we do that. Yeah, I know as a company we partner and help people get through their solar install. Maybe they took it on and they couldn't quite take off the whole bite. You know what I mean? They needed help. We're here for that. We do all parts of that, and we work with other companies too. We're the back end tech support for tons of places across Canada, which is awesome. So we're used to being able to walk people through on the phone and help them, whatever it is, because we've seen them get through like an install just fine, but they're trying to figure out how to do their online portal.
Yeah.
You know, simple things sometimes can trip you up, right? If you don't know, you don't know. So no question is dumb.
Correct.
So you guys came from Switzerland then?
Switzerland, yeah. You got it right. I did, yeah.
Oh,
Avani
you did.
did.
No. Avani's Canadian, right? So I'm just Canadian too. So, you know, that's okay. We're boring.
Avani just moved here.
Yeah, I moved here 5 years back. I am from India.
Oh,
And
you know what? I didn't think so. I thought you'd been here for a very long time. You don't have a heavy accent or anything. Congratulations. That's hard to do.
thank you so much. Yeah, English is not my first language, but yeah, I've managed to do so. So
You are doing well.
Canada, it's a great country, and yeah, hopefully, I'm just planning to bring my family here too. So
Very nice. Very nice. Well, Canada has lots of space, unlike a lot of other countries. We're not super populated, so there's always room for more here, I think, anyways.
It's such a melting pot, Canada.
It really is. Oh, yeah. So, Canada is one of those unique places where we don't try to change you.
Yeah.
You just are who you are, and you can come and be who you want to be. I find that, like, some places in the U.S., it's more a simulation versus a melting pot of everybody just sort of is who they are, right? So I don't know. That's my take on my side of it from our perspective, but I really enjoy that part of us. I think there's room for everybody, and I think it makes us more interesting and more bonded at the end of the day, more accepting.
yeah, absolutely, I agree. I mean, it's a great platform. Canada gave me a platform on which I can elevate more and more in my career and improve life of myself and my family as well. So
absolutely,
I'm thankful to Franken Solar.
Absolutely. So we're getting close to the end here. I just wanted to know, Danny, did you have anything you would love to say to our viewers as in closing?
No, well, yeah, I guess.
Come be with us.
Feel free to contact us, Avani, myself, Randy, Natalie, whoever, Alex. Feel free to give us a shout, and we would love to help you out with any of your solar needs. What we try to do is we try to really help people and try to help companies. Again, that's what we try to do, and what we're building on is that we're not just order fulfillers, but we try to be an extension to your business and help you become the best version of yourself.
And Franken Solar America, I mean, one of the things I really like about you guys is that you do what you say. So, I mean, like, talk about what do you got going on the roof of Franken Solar over there?
Well, thanks for asking, Lorena. We do have installed a 50 kilowatt project on our building.
Nice.
Was it sometime this winter? And
it's recent.
Yeah, it's just very recent.
Brand new.
It's it is up and running, and we're fully powered by solar panels up there, and nice. It's really exciting. And one of the things that I wanted to mention is we were also contacted last year by Brian Baumler from HGTV, and we were on his latest season of Island of Brian. And so if you haven't seen it yet,
neat.
You can see Peter down there helping Brian Baumler install solar panels on his resort.
Oh, very cool. So our evolutionaries can take a look at that. So I think that's amazing. I might put those in the links too for the YouTube uploads so that people can go in and check that out. So if you can send me the link, I'll include it when we're posting. That's pretty much it for today, evolutionaries. It's been a fantastic. Please contact Danny and Avani if you're seriously considering going into business for solar, these guys can really help you out. They are out of Ontario, Canada, and they distribute all across Canada. Avani is the representative, or I should say, she is marketing manager for here in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, and they have all the right resources for you to understand whether or not this is a good thing for you to go into business with. Want to thank everybody here at Evolve Green and Evolution Greenworks. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Avani.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that's it for today's show, episode 17. I really enjoyed having Avani and Danny on the show from Franken Solar Americas. They've been around for quite some time with their distribution. So please check out their website. I have it down at the bottom, frankensolar.ca, or give them a call at 289-276-5279. That's it for today. And we'll join you with episode 18 next